What's going on, everyone? This is Sheets, and I'm going to be going solo tonight. Bobby's going to be out for a couple of days with some personal business. We're going to be going over a lot. We're going to be doing NBA, probably both DraftKings and FanDuel. We're going to be going over the MLB slate as well. We're going to do a lineup build for that showdown. Just so you know, tomorrow, like all kinds of stuff. MMA starts early, starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. We have EPL at 10. We have Truck Series at 12:30. You have 4 o'clock. The Xfinity Series. Watch for Brandon's content for that. What else? Another baseball game tomorrow. Excuse me, and probably some more basketball. Who knows? Not to mention we got football coming on Sunday. And yeah, so let's just kind of get started with kind of analysis of where I am with projections, at least for the NBA slate. You can feel free to ask questions in here, but we're just going to essentially do the same process that we did at 12. We're going to see who looks good. And then we're going to just go ahead and build lineups. Hold on, let me get my sheets up. And if anything comes in as far as news goes, I would appreciate you guys giving me kind of the heads up on that. Let's take a look. Let me just see what the schedule looks like for the games first, I suppose. Okay, so we have Philadelphia, Toronto at 7, Brooklyn, Orlando at 7, then 3 games at 7:30, 2 games at 8, 1 9:30, and New Orleans, Portland, Phoenix, LA to close it out. There are actually some good plays in the LA side, as I remember from earlier, and also Zion remains a super play on New Orleans, so that's something that you can wait a little. So let me just kind of go overall, just kind of slate preview here from a value perspective. Not much has changed in that the top values are not like through the roof values. They're good. I mean, I have no one that's projecting over 6x even, but we have a bunch of them that are all kind of close. And that would be Dyson Daniels from Atlanta at 4,600, Trey Mann, 4,300 from Charlotte. Jalen Suggs from Orlando at 4,800. You got Caleb Martin at 4,900. Those are well, and then even some others. I mean, you have DeAndre Hunter for 4,700, and then Trace Jackson at 4,500. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pretty good values between 4,500 and 5K. So if you wanted to play 2 or 3 of those, you could probably get some studs in your lineups pretty easily. As far as my opinion on which of those are better, Dyson Daniels, he's going to be the highest owned. I worry about his ceiling a little bit. He's not exactly an offensive juggernaut, but he's going to be on the court because he's going to have to be following around LaMelo Ball. And to that point, I think it's probably a decent idea to play maybe LaMelo Ball with Dyson Daniels, kind of a little sneaky correlation to make sure those guys are on the court at the same time. So there's that. What other ways can I distinguish between these? I mean, they're all are kind of owned, but not exceedingly so. I guess the lowest owned of them all is Trace Jackson Davis. I'm not getting to the Boucher who I was getting to earlier for some reason. So I'm going to probably not get to that. So again, as far as values go, once again, Daniels from Atlanta, Trey Mann from Charlotte. That's an early game, right? Jalen Suggs from Orlando, Caleb Martin from Philly, and then DeAndre Hunter and Trace Jackson Davis. In addition to that, you have Cat. I mean, I think Cat and Zion, to me, are just the best plays today. I have them being owned, but not exceedingly so. And I would try my best to play those guys. That's the best. I mean, if you wanted like a core, like I think those two. I think LaMelo Ball, as I mentioned before, he's good. And then you go to the top of the list and you have Giannis. Okay, so he's 11-1. And you can get there. Okay, I mean you can definitely get there with all these 4,500 guys. Okay, 1 second. What else? So Giannis at the top. I think Anthony Davis is a pretty good play, but not as good as Giannis. But then again, you're saving $1,000. And the Giannis, I mean, you're getting him at only 7% ownership or something like that. I mean, I went through like a bunch of these 4Ks that you can play. So what do you do? I mean, again, if you're just just building a couple lineups, I would start with Zion and Cat, or maybe even try to get Zion with Giannis in there too, and then just use those 4,500s. Again, that seems to make sense. I'm not getting Levine as good of a play as I was earlier. I considered like pairing Levine with, say, Giannis, but I mean, if I get there, great, but I'm not going to prioritize that. All right, then I'm going to take a look at FanDuel. And then after that, we're going to build, and I'll share my screen, and I'm actually going to build live. And I think that's going to be, I mean, hopefully helpful with respect to process. So an interesting bit of value kind of popped up here. So on FanDuel, Clint Capella at 5,200 is my top like point per dollar play. And he's only getting owned like 11-12%. That's kind of interesting. Again, he's competing for center love, right? With, say, Cat, who's a very, very good play. But I don't know. I mean, it's Capella's pretty cheap. And at only 12% ownership, I think that's probably something you can hand build. What other point per dollar plays are there on FanDuel? Kelly Oubre still looks pretty decent, and he does look pretty highly owned. But then you get some cheapos. Davion Mitchell for 4,200, Toronto. Jakob Poeltl, 5,900, again at the center position, Toronto. Dyson Daniels, not bad there on FanDuel as well, 5,200. And then there's Caleb Martin, another guy on Philly. So you have Caleb Martin and Andre Drummond and Kelly Oubre. Like all three of those look like very good values on FanDuel. Now, with respect to just, good plays again, Giannis still, I mean, the best, probably, it's a very, very good play. I'm not seeing Zion as good of a play on FanDuel, although he's certainly decent. Cat at 7,700 seems kind of mispriced. So that's. I think I just talked about that. Yeah, Brandon. Yeah, so Davion Mitchell on FanDuel definitely shows up as one of the top options, actually. So, yeah. So why don't I do this? Let me actually share my screen, and then we will actually build and see. And I like to see how. I'm playing a lot tonight. I want to see how the actual builds correspond to what we think should happen. Okay. So let me share this, and you feel free to chime away with questions in here. So this is DraftKings, and as you'll see, an important thing to do is to always enter dummy lineups first into the contest, and then we upload them into the SaberSim builder. This way, it's just a little easier that way. It automatically saves your contest sims and all the settings, like how many entrants are in the tournament and the field lineups that you're going to want to compare against. And just to kind of show you how easy it is, I mean, I'll do this whole thing all over again. Okay. So we're going to completely start from scratch, and to see how easy this really is to do. First of all, there's a little thing here. Who's out? Actually, I'm just curious. Jonathan Isaac's out. Okay. But that'll fix itself. So you see in contests. So what you do is you just put upload here, and for DraftKings, it's really easy. You just click download, and it automatically downloaded them to your computer from DraftKings. As long as you know where your download file is, you just click there. You can see it comes right up here into the whatever that word is. What's to overwrite them? Yes. And so now all my lineups are in here already. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we could just start all over. And we're going to upload our new projections. So we upload. Now, if you're on TrueDFS through SaberSim or SaberSim through GFS, you can automatically select this for you. I actually have to do this manually. I exclude unlisted players so I don't get anything bad. And then we will just hit build lineups. And we're going to build 5,000 lineups. We've already put our projections in. And as you'll see, I mean, our projections are not particularly that different than SaberSim's or anybody's really. It's just not particularly difficult to make NBA projections. Once you have a decent minutes projection and you have the rates and whatever. So that's why you're not going to see too much discrepancy there. But if you are really, really good at this and you have an edge as far as knowing how many minutes someone's going to play somehow, then you could have a big edge, right? Because as I mentioned, most projection systems come up with the same numbers or at least close to it. So if you can be somewhat different and be right, there is quite an edge to be had. Okay, so we're firing all these up, and you see we're getting, before we apply the sims, we're getting a whole bunch of Trey Mann and Dyson Daniels. And what I like to do is before I run even the sims, we're going to mess with the min uniques here. So right here, we run the risk of being just too concentrated. So what we're going to do is we're going to click, first of all, max. No, we're going to put average projected score, save average. And what this does, it shows you that you have 272 average projection in your lineups. And it's important to see that so that you can gauge how badly you're affecting it by making these changes. So if we go from min uniques 1 to min uniques 2, you'll see it goes from 272. I mean, it doesn't go down at all. So the process again is you can go more and more min uniques until this average projection just gets obliterated. And obliterated is kind of a term of art. So it went down 3 points there. So maybe that's enough, but let's just see what this next one goes. That went down 7 points. So to be somewhat diverse, let's do min uniques 4. Okay. And then we're going to run our contest sim. Now, remember, it's already saved all of the data of what we were entering and what the representative fields are for those particular contests that we want to compare ourselves to. So this is extremely streamlined. Okay. Now, what this is not doing is letting you make, well, not letting you, you're not making your changes yet. Like if you don't like what you're getting, it's very easy to change your exposures. But if you're like me and don't make all that many changes, if at all, this is really the end of the process. Okay. Now, again, if you wanted to be cutesy, you could, say, ooh, I want to play Williams, not Williamson, but say, like I mentioned, like LaMelo Ball with Dyson Daniels, and this isn't getting there, but that's fine with me. Now, your next option here is how you fill your lineups on SaberSim. Like you could do direct fill here, and then you could actually identify what you want to go where. But what's cool is you could just go autofill, and it will automatically know like where to put your lineups. Okay. Now it'll automatically put the ones that simmed well against the Friday 8s in there, the ones that simmed well against the Showtime in there, and it's amazing. And then the only other choice you really have to make is this unique rank choice, whether you want to go unique rank or rank. Now, when you go rank, what that does is it allows you to put like the same lineup into like 8 different contests if you want, if that's the way it goes. And I don't like that. I like to be as unique as possible with my lineup. So I'll just click unique rank. So what that'll do is put 160 completely unique lineups in all these contests. So the very last decision I have to make is, well, what happens if a lineup was going to show up in both? How do we choose which contest gets it? And that's what this order does for you. Okay. So what I like to do for me is I'll put like the ones that I care the most about at the top, like the mega eights. Um, like the one where I really need that lineup to be good. I only have like one shot, one bite at the apple, so to speak. Um, and then you probably should put your single entries again um, near the top and not worry too much about your lotteries if you're going to play this way. Um, you put your MME stuff like all the way at the bottom. Friday eights and the box out. And now we're here. You hit save to contests. And with any luck, it works. Now, if it doesn't work, you could still fill with what was in there before. Okay, so we're in. Little arrow here. It automatically puts DraftKings up for you. And away we go. So what have we done? We first of all, we used some really good projections. Number two, we used some really good ownerships. Okay. Thank you, Brandon. Number three, we used good contest sims. Then we decided how many min uniques we wanted to play. And then we decided how we were going to fill the lineups, make sure we were as unique as possible within our lineups, and didn't make any other changes. Now, the other thing is that once you get to this point, your day is not over. I mean, you have to do this at every possible late swap opportunity also. So, I mean, NBA is no joke. It's very, very difficult, but at least you have the technology now to do these things really, really quickly. So you go into FanDuel and we'll do just the exact same thing. Okay. Well, except you'll have to trust me that all my lineups are in the, we can't, let's do it. Let's do it all over again. Okay. Because it's one little extra step with FanDuel when it comes to the contests. So when you click on enter the contest, it doesn't like automatically take them from FanDuel. You have to actually go there and download that file, that CSV file. So you make sure you click NBA. And CSV edit. And now it's going to download all your contests into your wherever you keep your downloads. You go back to SaberSim and then you upload the contest file. So it's one extra step with using FanDuel. We overwrite this and we're good. Okay. So now we'll go back to build 2 and you'll see all the contest sim stuff was saved. Same deal. Upload. And again, if you're on TrueDFS, this will automatically, if you want, it'll populate the projections with either mine or Goldie's or SaberSims or an average. I mean, really, whatever you want. And 5,000 lineups are being built. And I imagine, to your point, Brandon, I imagine I'd be getting quite a bit of Davion Mitchell on FanDuel. The other thing, again, like as you do this, remember that NBA is just a different sport DFS wise than some of the others. You're really never going to win being completely off the board. I mean, the projections are usually really tight, and it is kind of a chalk sport. Now you can get different and you can do lineup construction things and you could, between ties, you could pick the low rolling guy, but you don't really want to go too bananas here. So your first set here, Kelly Oubre, Davion Mitchell, Cat, Towns, whatever. So again, before we even run our contest sims, see we have that average projection here, 306. So we're going to do min uniques as many as I can before I get yelled at. So 305.98, 305.52, 30. 3.67. So let's see this. Usually from 4 to 5 is kind of that magic number where they yell at you. Yeah, so let's go back to Min Uniques 4. And then we could go ahead and run the contest sims. And the other thing I'm not particularly worried about is max from any one team. I have too much faith in them, but I know these guys a long time, the SaberSim guys, and they put so much work into their sims that if I'm going to get 3 of one guy, I'm just going to eat it. I'm just going to take 3 of one team, for example. I'm just going to presume that the sims kind of gave that to me. All right, so same deal. So we have a choice between direct fill, where we could just individually fill these lineups, or again, we go to autofill, which it'll do it for you, which I like. So again, what's the last thing we have to do? We have to rank these by what we want at the top. And I'm not playing anything particularly huge today. I think we're gonna put the qualifier here at the top, and then we'll put the biggest buy in single entry here at the top. And then I do believe that we want to keep the MME stuff near the bottom. So let's put all the single entries up here. Layup, slam, windmill. All right, this all looks pretty good. And again, 339 completely separate lineups. Let's make sure this disappears. Watch this. This is going to go green, and this is going to disappear if we did it right. And it did. And this disappeared. We're going to download these. CSV edit. Now, if I'm around, I don't think I'll be around, but I'll come back live and show you how to do late swap. At some point, I will do that, but maybe not tonight. Okay, edit this, uploads, and looking good. I think looking good. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to transition straight to baseball. We have the showdown slate tonight, the beginning of Dodgers against the Yankees. It's the grudge match between Bobby and Sheets. 752 entries on FanDuel. Again, that's not all just basketball. I already pre-entered like all my footballs for the weekend. Yeah. So I'm not. It's not like that. I'll show you. I mean, this is it's 752 total. Like if it's not going to separate this. I already entered like 150, like all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's not showing it, but yeah, it's all sports. It's 752 total entries. For FanDuel, I'll show you guys. I'll show you what I played. I did play more than I usually play, but you could take a look under contests. Yeah, so I did play 150 in both the layup and the clutch thing. So that's how it got up to 330, but it wouldn't be 750 like ever. All right, so where is baseball? Here. Let's see. Okay, so great. So I already put the projections in here already. And now we're literally just going to build. The one thing I did is when you upload the projections, you want to leave all of these relievers in. Okay, even if I'm not putting a projection up on them, all these relievers are in play every single day. Okay, so the only ones I wouldn't play like what you can do. You can do this post build too. Is you can X out these 10K relievers. You know what I mean? Like you're just not going to want to do that. But everybody else is legitimately in play. So let's just do whatever, right? So everything's in there. We're playing a full 150 in the we're playing a full 150 in the baseball because they're doing it for $5, I think. So yeah, we're just gonna fire. Ooh, I screwed up. All right. So what I did was I built without being in sim mode, I think. Let's just see. Build to. I wanted to build 5,000 lineups. See, what the hell am I doing? Rebuild. Okay. Oh yeah, awesome weekend. And it does take a little longer for the baseball, I suppose. Just to recap, I actually have a bet tonight. I like Cleveland minus the points against whoever they play against Detroit. I think is that who it is? Whoever they play. Actually, I'm gonna put that on. I'm gonna put that bet in on Bet Online. I think give them some business. As I run this. Hold on. Sports, NBA, basketball. Cleveland minus 11 against Detroit. Looks good to me. Awesome. Okay, so I can't see any reason to do anything different, right? It's the same type of process. We built the lineups. Let's again do the min unique stuff, right? So let's go average, projected score, save aggregate metrics, min uniques 2 goes from 63 down to 62, and then 62 down to 62 again. So far so good. And then went down 2 full points. So maybe that's enough. Let's see if it crashes here. Actually, it went up from 60 to 61. Oh, it didn't even give me enough lineups. That's pretty funny. So let's get back up to now we can at least get all these lineups in, which I kind of like. Then we'll run the Sims. So min uniques 3. Okay. I'm going to be curious to see how many hey, what's up, All-Star? How many relievers I got? So again, last choice between direct fill and autofill. So again, once again, we're going to go into autofill. Should I even check and see who we have? See, this has been my new thing is to not even check and see who we have. I mean, if I'm really going to be all about process, I shouldn't care who we have. And up we go. And that should do it. So just a couple of announcements. Again, MMA starts at 10 tomorrow. I did a lineup construction video, and I put that. Unfortunately, those videos are going to be premium, meaning that you have to be an actual paying subscriber, and to get them, you have to go. It's a weird place you have to look. You have to look at the premium video section, you'll get a notification in the Discord of when those come up. And so that's where you'll see that. I went I went really off the rails this week with the MMA construction. I didn't think I was going to. I never think I'm going to. And the next thing you know, I'm doing it. All right, good question. Can you run a one for DraftKings? Okay. Well, let's what, for baseball? Basketball? I'll do one for you. You got, I think you might be under delay, right? So you're not. But what you'd want to do is if it was baseball, if it was basketball, then you could just kind of look and see, all these are single entry builds. So you would use this one to go in there. Now, again, I can't, it doesn't really matter what the lineup is. I hate to say it that way, but that's really the deal. But if you want to have some fun, if you wanted to build like a lineup, like if you want to just do it by hand, you could totally do it. Like who are the guys I talked about? Let's have some fun. Okay, so MLB you want? Well, what I was going to say is that you could play Zion and then you could play Cat. And then you have 56.50 a man. You can't quite play Giannis too, but you might. You really might. Well, all those 4,500 guys. I can't really get into. But what were some of those guys we talked about? It was can you actually get them all in? Can you get all three of these guys in? I don't think so, but it's going to be, it would be quite a sweat to try at least. Like what was Terrence Mann? Was he 42? I'll do baseball for you. Like Terrence Mann is that? Who is the other bow wows that I was talking about down here? Was there any of them that were actually small forward? Is DeAndre Hunter one of them? I don't know, but the point is that you could definitely do this. You could definitely do this. I'm curious. Hold on. It was Daniels, Mann, Suggs, Martin. Now you can't quite get there, but it's fun to try. You just can't quite get there by playing all three of them. But if you want to make a little change, like you play Giannis instead of Giannis, you know what you can do? You could play LaMelo. And then you could definitely do it. So you play LaMelo, Williamson, Towns, and then Daniels, Mann. Let's see who would be who's the small forward that fits. Yeah, it was DeAndre Hunter. Hang on. And then dude, easy, right? Easy breezy. You could even play better guys if you want. Cat, Zion, LaMelo. Easily. And then Caleb Martin, for example. And then you could actually play a real player. Like who's 6,100? Austin Reeves? You want to try that? You know what I mean? Like you just use the projections on a night like this. It's pretty soft. If you can use all these values. Just for, I mean, I can't actually play this, but I'll maybe I'll change it later. But just to prove a point. I mean, I probably should do something with this. Anyway, all right. As far as baseball goes, let me do a single entry. So I didn't actually enter it, but let's see if we can't do it anyway. So let's use you go into contests, and then where is a single entry here? Okay, so battery single entry. Let's call this single entry, I guess. And then we'll use single entry. We can just saber some ownership again. $91 entrants, first whatever. Let's see, where is it? I want to go. I want to add this somehow. Well, what I could do, how do I add this? But I'm so used to the new way of doing it where I have to have the lineup in that I forgot how to actually run a new one with something I'm not in. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. It's so funny. I just literally don't even know how to do it anymore the old way. So I apologize, but I can't help you with that. All right, that'll do it. Good luck, everybody, and we will catch you over the weekend. See you later.